Welcome to this week's Terminology Monday video, and the topic is rights-based approach. Now, if you're somebody who works in the social and development sector, you know how important these terms are. But many people are not really clear about what these actually mean. So let's talk about them. The main goal of these two sectors are to empower different sections in society. Now, social and development sectors comprise of service providers and caregivers. But who exactly are they? Simply put, service providers are those people that provide services that can assist other people to live their lives comfortably. And caregivers are those people that provide any sort of support to an aging and infirmed person or anyone who needs the support and care. Examples of caregivers are medical professionals, social workers, etc. Service providers and caregivers should use the human rights-based approach in their work. The HRBA, or the human rights-based approach, is a very important concept. It helps to empower people by first informing them of their basic human rights and secondly holding institutions and governments responsible if those rights are not met. In the history of social work, the needs-based approach was replaced by the HRBA. There's a very simple explanation for this. Needs are actually quite subjective. One person's need might not be somebody else's. According to the UNFPA website, there's a very clear distinction between these two words, that is needs and rights. The website says that an unfulfilled need leads to dissatisfaction, whereas an unfulfilled right leads to a violation. Let's be very clear about the fact that human rights are never subjective. They are very objective and uniform in nature. But what exactly are human rights? What are the basic human rights? Well, in layman terms, basic human rights are those rights which are given to a person just because they are a human being. That's it. These rights do not differ based on gender, class, caste, race, creed, religion, etc. Martha Nussbaum once said that rights are defined as entitlements that belong to all human beings regardless of race, ethnicity, or socio-economic class. We have 30 basic human rights according to the UDHR, which was created by the UN in the year 1948. For example, Article 1 of the UDHR says that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. Now, let's talk about a concept that is very important and is tied to the HRBA, the Bannon Principles. There are some underlying principles which are of fundamental importance in applying the HRBA in practice. Or in other words, you need to follow the Bannon Principles to make the HRBA a reality. Bannon is actually an acronym where every letter stands for something. P is for participation, A stands for accountability, N is for non-discrimination and equality, E is for empowerment, and L is for legality. Every social worker, caregiver, medical professional, development sector employee, everyone should incorporate these principles in their work. Now, P stands for participation. Everyone has the right to participate in the decision-making process which affect their basic human rights. So all social workers should make sure that they take the consent and respect the opinions of the target communities. A is for accountability. A social and development sector worker needs to ensure effective monitoring of human rights as well as effective remedies for any sort of breach. N is for non-discrimination and equality. The human rights-based approach stresses on the fact that all forms of discrimination should be prohibited, prevented, and eliminated. Then comes E, empowerment. And how do you empower individuals and communities? You give them knowledge. So individuals and communities should know their basic human rights. Access to any information related to the rights should be given without any sort of bias. Finally, legality. The human rights-based approach requires the recognition of rights as legally enforceable entitlements. Therefore, we can easily say that basic human rights are not some abstract concept. In fact, if these rights are not met, you can understand why it becomes a violation. Let's recap. In today's episode, we discussed basic human rights, the human rights-based approach, and the Panley principles. Thank you for watching my video. Please do subscribe to this channel and do check out my website sexandgender.com. Also check out the Facebook page, and if you have any comments, please do write a mail to sexandgenderseries@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.